What's up everybody, Eric here, and today I'm going to tell you about Easter Island. Yes, the most remote inhabited island on the planet. I had a chance to go there, so I'm going to give to you my top 5 things to do on Easter Island. Now, there's more than 5 things to do, so think of this as a way to get some ideas. So, if you're planning to visit Easter Island, or simply fascinated by its history, this video is for you. Number 5, Anakena Beach. Anakena Beach is located on the north side, and it's one of the few sandy beaches on the island. A little bit of history, this is where the first king of Easter Island, King Hotumotua, landed with his men from Polynesia. While you're here, you can swim in the ocean, have some local seafood, and bask in the shadows of the giant Moai statues. Now, what are the Moai? Moai are giant statues that were carved in honor of old chiefs known as ariki. They stand on top of ahus, or altars, and you can find them all throughout the island. These particular statues are very unique because they're very well preserved. They were covered in sand, so they're protected from the elements. You can see the carvings and even the outlines of their arms. You'll also notice that they have red stone caps on top of their heads. Now, these are not sombreros, they're actually pukaos, or top knots. This was a hairstyle worn by important tribal chiefs. So that's it, Anakena Beach. Bonus, if you look around the back of the altar, you can see some old materials used to create the ahu. Let's see if you can figure out what that material is. Number 4 is Rano Raraku. This is a volcanic crater where all the statues were carved. You can think of this place as like the Moai factory of the island. The statues were made here and then transported to their ahus. However, not all of them made it to their final destinations. Some of them were damaged along the way, some of them were abandoned, and others were just never completed. In fact, you can even see some of them still in the original rock. So, take that, conspiracy theorists. We know exactly where the statues came from, we know the tools they used, so yeah, no need for alien intervention here. Alien intervention. That sounds like a TV show. Okay, so while you're here, you can also see the very famous Moai that are buried up their necks and shoulders. This was due to erosion. These statues are very photogenic and very large. They were popularized during the early days of exploration. Number 3, the caves. Underneath the island is a whole system of caves, and they were used for different purposes. For ceremonies, for food storage, for refuge. But if you can only visit one set of caves, I would recommend seeing the Cave of the Two Windows, or the Cave of Dos Ventanas. It's on the west side of the island, and it actually splits up into 2 openings right on the side of a cliff right by the ocean. So it's very dramatic, especially during sunset. You can see the light pouring in very dramatically, and it's just a great scene. When visiting, be sure to bring a torch or flashlight because it's dark at the very beginning of the tunnel. It's pitch black for about 5 meters, but once you get through, it's definitely worth it for the view. Number 2 is Orongo. Orongo is a village located by Ranokau, an extinct volcano. It's also known as the Birdman Village because this is where they held the annual Birdman competition. In this competition, the competitors had to climb down a cliff, swim across the water, onto a rocky islet. Here, they would search for the first egg laid by a seabird. They would then capture the egg, swim back across the water, climb back up the cliff, all the while protecting the egg. The winner of the contest was declared ruler of Easter Island for 1 year. So yes, it was literally an Easter egg hunt. While you're here in Orongo, you can learn more about the Birdman competition, you can see some of the petroglyphs etched in the rock, and of course admire the beautiful Ranokau crater. Number 1 is Ahu Tongariki. Now this is the longest ahu on the island, and it has 15 statues on top of it, all varying in size and shape, and one of them even has a puka on top of his head. Now a little bit of history about this place. Like many others on the island, the statues of Ahu Tongariki were toppled during the intertribal warfare that occurred between the 18th and 19th century. As a result, only the ahu remained standing. Then in 1960, a tsunami hit the island and knocked over the remaining wall. Luckily, in 1990, a Japanese crane company came to the rescue and restored the ahu and the statues. So, as a thank you, the country of Chile loaned a Moai to the country of Japan, where it went on tour. You can see the traveling Moai at the very entrance of Ahu Tongariki. So this is definitely a sight to be seen. Definitely bring your camera, and you might even see some wild horses running around. So that's it, guys. Those are my top 5 things to do on Easter Island. But bonus, you can take an airplane from Santiago or from Tahiti So you don't have to swim across or take a boat like in the olden days. Also, I would recommend hiring a guide for a couple days. They'll be able to point out some things that you may miss if you were on your own. I would also recommend taking a few days to explore on your own. The island is relatively small, so you could hire a car, take a bicycle, walk on foot, or even ride a horse. What about you? Have you been to Easter Island? What else would you add to the list? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll talk to you guys soon.